No, we're on, boys.
Okay.
Girls. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
And welcome back to our training session on the use of PPE.
Okay.
Before we begin, sorry, Mr. B there, lady in the base, sorry. I hope everyone has been well since our last session.
Yep, doing wonderful.
Yeah, we'll be alright.
Very good. Before we begin, let's quickly review some ground rules. Please remember to be patient and allow one person to speak at a time.
Yep.
Use respectful language when interacting with your peers.
Always.
Blythe, if you maybe want to step forward a little bit. I don't know if you're quite into the class or not. Yeah, very good. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Use respectful language when interacting with your peers, and if you are unsure about anything, don't hesitate to ask. It's important to respect and consider everyone's suggestions and ideas.
That's true.
As we engage in our session, let's also prioritise workplace health and safety considerations. By setting up ergonomic workstations for emergency exits, please take note that the emergency exit located at the back of the classroom. In case of emergency, we will evacuate through these exits, which is down the stairs, turn right, another flight of stairs. There's a glass door on your left then. That'll be the driveway. That's our assembly point on the outside of the building. If you hear fire alarms, please remain calm and follow my instructions for safe evacuation. There is a first aid kit located in the warehouse down the bottom, just right of the glass door where we came in. If you need assistance, please inform me.
Yep,
Yeah, no problem.
Before we begin, could you please write your names onto the attendance piece of paper, which is already in front of you, please, Michelle?
Yep. Can you give me a pen?
Yeah. Okay, very good.
Thank you very much.
Okay. As I already authenticated your IDs in the last session, so we don't need to do that again today. I want to remind that everyone that our session will today last for 30 minutes approximately.
Yeah.
I encourage you to actively participate and ask questions during this time.
Yeah.
Let's do a quick recap of our previous session. In our previous session, we learned about identifying, assessing, and managing risks
Yeah.
within their respective environments.
Yeah.
We will also learn about the hierarchical approach to controlling risks and enabling them to prioritise and implement effective control measures to mitigate workplace hazards.
Yeah.
Did you all find and watch the videos on the previous session topic and today's topic?
Yeah, we did, yeah.
Quite a few videos out there now?
Yeah.
Right, you guys guys know what to look for now.
Yeah, a lot of videos out there that can be very helpful.
Yeah, very good. Today we are learning about identifying factors for selecting appropriate PPE, demonstrate proper wearing and adjusting of PPE,
Yep.
and understand cleaning and storage procedures.
Yep.
Throughout this session we will engage with a video presentation, review slide materials, and I will pose questions related to this topic we cover. These questions will serve as a formative assessment, helping me gauge our understanding of the concepts as we progress. We're going to begin now by watching a brief video about safety and PPE.
Okay.
Can everyone see the screen?
Yep.
Yeah.
One moment without the right PPE can mean a lifetime of injury. Personal protective equipment, or PPE, is gear that can be worn to help minimize or eliminate injury. It should be worn to help prevent sudden injuries or injuries that occur over time. It is very important that the user understands the intended purpose of the PPE and verifies that it fits properly. There are many basic types of personal protective equipment designed to protect different parts of the body. For the head, a hard hat or welder's cap. Protect your hearing with earmuffs, earplugs, or canal caps. Shield the face and or eyes with safety glasses, a face shield, or safety goggles. Gloves for general use, chemical use, electrical work or hot work, or cut-resistant gloves protect the hands. Chaps, leathers, or coveralls keep the body shielded from injury. Foot protection includes leather boots or safety toe boots. Your work may require specialized PPE such as a harness or respirator. Always ensure that you follow the posted and verbal PPE requirements. A worker should be trained and properly fitted for these types of PPE. One size does not fit all. We all have different bodies and needs, so it's important to speak up if you believe your PPE doesn't fit. Remember, PPE is the last line of defense against a hazard. It is important that all PPE is inspected regularly and replaced as needed or when expired. Learn more about personal protective equipment with our Toolbox Talks app, available at toolboxtalks.info.
Alright, very good. Just give me a moment while I bring up the next part of the session. How did you guys find that?
Very informative. It was.
Informative, eh?
Let's just say
Okay.
one moment of PPE saves lifetime of injury.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the key aspect.
Why is PPE important? Why is there such a big emphasis on PPE?
I think just the main principle I think would be to maintain safety in the workplace.
Safety.
Yeah.
Why do we want to be safe?
To reduce or prevent injuries, I would say.
Very good.
To your home.
Be sure.
PPE is important because let's say even if we are prepared for we need to be prepared for a hazard, and this kind of let's say the hard and the boots that is preventing you from the hazard.
Yeah.
So this is called the last line of defense
Very
because
good.
the precautionary measures should have been taken well in before.
Yeah.
But as we are humans, we cannot be perfect.
Yeah.
So this is the last line of defense.
Wow. What do you think?
I think Michelle brought up a very interesting point about the PPE.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I have much to add as well. If I know that if we use the right PPE, we'll be healthier for a longer period of time. If we apply this as simple as that, let's say, yeah, with other stuff that we studied previously.
The PPE is our defense between us and getting hurt, pretty much. It's what we implement to keep ourselves safe, pretty much.
Yeah.
I'm going to be presenting some PowerPoints now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just Just give me a sec while I pull them up. Okay. Okay. Everyone good with that? Okay, introduction to PPE. Personal protective equipment. Okay, sorry. For safeguarding workers from potential hazards is in the workplace. We use our PPE basically to keep ourselves safe from hazards, whether it be something falling, something airborne, or something we can't see. Definition of PPE, sorry, personal protective equipment. Purpose of PPE, application of PPE. So there's no one tool fits all. So the purpose of the PPE and the application of the PPE. So different tasks will require you wearing different forms of PPE. You can't put a hard hat on if you're using a angle grinder and say, yeah, that's good enough. You need something to cover all bases when you do the task.
Compensate the task, yeah.
Yes. You can't say I'm gonna wear a high vis shirt and jump in a tank without a full face mask
Yeah.
or a respirator.
Yeah.
Purpose of PPE in injury prevention, barrier protection, hazard identification, injury reduction. Barrier protection. Our PPE is basically a barrier between us and our and the hazard or something that can go wrong.
Yeah.
We'll take an example for a hard hat. You're working under someone, they accidentally drop something onto your head.
Yeah.
You are still gonna feel it, but you're gonna walk away from it a lot better than without it.
Yeah, 100%.
I had a situation happen
With probably, yeah.
with the hard hat, even when climbing up and down the scaffold, you know, one of my co-workers was pretty committed of jumping up, so he's used quite a lot of strength on the last leap, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he hit. If he didn't have an hard hat, there was going to be
You would
quite
have
serious.
felt it.
That could have been concussion or some sort. I wouldn't know.
Hazard mitigation. So hazard, we're spraying paint, airborne vapor. We're not gonna put a shirt over our face and say, yeah, that's enough. No, you need something sufficient.
Actually, I've seen painters doing it.
It's
Yeah.
yeah.
I remember when
Even
some
my
car
supervisor from my previous job, he used to just put his
shirt
over
over.
his face and then just say it's good enough. I would always used to say it's not good enough.
No, it isn't. Especially with the airborne vapor, it's
Yeah,
not.
say now we gotta push the job. It's not about pushing the job. It's about safety.
Walking home,
Yeah.
going home,
Yeah.
and not feeling it the next day.
Something like that happened, like even like let's say the similar situation, and the guy who was putting paint in, he also didn't have his mask on.
Long term,
The
it's
fire
not.
stairs too.
It's not healthy. It's not healthy.
Even if it's oil based, even if it's water based, is it?
Prolonged
It's
exposure.
prolonged exposure to that vapor, those smells. It will damage your senses.
Water based, it just takes longer, or
It'll take a lot longer. It's less water based is the less harmful of the paints,
but still harmful
but it's still
enough.
harmful.
I think we can relate that to the previous session. Substitution from oil-based to water.
Substitution to water-based, yeah.
Water-based, but still it's harmful.
Like you use that sort of environment where there's airborne vapor, even if it's water based. You'll go home and you feel your sinuses. Your sinuses are
blocked.
inflamed. Yeah, they're blocked.
No.
It's not they're blocked, they're inflamed
Yeah.
from all the
They're
odor.
inflamed.
Yeah.
alright. Mm.
Types of PPE. Well, we got a array of PPE in front of us here
Our
today.
range. Yeah.
A range, which is well, we got glasses.
Yeah.
Got glasses. We got different classes of masks. We got like
Yeah.
this is a P2 mask.
Yep.
Yeah. If you're doing oil-based paint, that's you're kidding yourself. Where even this, if you're doing oil-based paints,
It won't help out.
it won't help out. It won't help out
Why? Is it because
because these filters are not classed for vapor; they're classed for dust.
It just goes through, or
Yeah, it goes through you.
Ah, it
yeah.
just goes through. It doesn't help.
It doesn't filter it.
Same for the oil.
The oil based, you
No,
would
the
probably
water based. I think.
the water based, no, it won't. You need vapor.
Ah.
These
is
ones.
it always mentioned on the mask?
It's yeah. It will say it in like organic vapor acid gas cartridge, P100 filter.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh.
So you can clearly identify them. These are for airborne vapor, like
There's a list of.
Yeah.
We can see it says P2 and
P2.
it says P100,
P100. So it filters down to
100 particles.
100 particles. Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Very good. P2, whereas it's only
So
two.
it's the particles
Yeah.
that is mentioned in
It
there.
measures the
P
particles.
stands for particles.
Yeah.
Goodness, okay, interesting actually.
We got our earmuffs. Yeah. High visi so people can see you and don't run you over.
Yeah.
And hard hats.
I also see some gloves here.
Gloves as well. Yeah. We got different classes of gloves as well.
When did you start the construction? Was it
Um,
long?
2000.
In 2000 they were
No,
using
no.
high Vs or no?
Nobody cared for it.
No high Vs.
Nobody cared. For it.
Somebody or just
Well, I started on residential. They're a little bit more.
open to that.
They don't really.
When did it start? Do you know? 2.5? Was it 2.5?
When I started getting onto the commercial sites, it was a lot more stringent. The rules and the regulations were, if you don't have it on, just leave. Don't do it.
No,
Don't do it. If we catch you again doing it, we're gonna send you home.
no.
Those are the sort of policies that they implemented to deter people from actually doing the wrong thing.
No.
Selection of appropriate PPE. Identify the hazards. Match the PPE to the hazards. Ensure proper fit. So, like I was saying before, you identify a hazard. You're what you call it. You're cutting some metal with a grinder. You got to make sure you got your. You can't say I'm going to squint my eyes and hope for the best while I'm cutting the metal, can you? Or grinding a ceiling. So your least defense would be it.
Even with the glasses, are they all the same or it's different?
No, you got different, but if you could get a like full wraparound goggles that like cover your eyes completely.
They good those ones or?
Yeah, they're good. Or you can get a complete face shield.
For welding, it's
For
the same
welding,
that they
yeah.
use for welding, is it?
Yeah.
It works for
You know,
grinding as well.
Yeah, because when you do look at when you're cutting metal, and they're clear, that ember that you're looking at does hurt your eyes long run. So you do have to select the appropriate and the right PPE for the task you're doing. Hazards addressed by PPE in construction: physical hazards, respiratory hazards, chemical hazards, electrical hazards. Physical hazards: construction workers face risks of falling. That's a physical hazard. If we're working on a ladder, if you're working on an A-frame ladder, you'll be more at risk of falling than a platform ladder.
I heard that in some sites they don't allow.
They're phasing them out.
They're phasing them out slowly.
It's the biggest. I think it's one of the biggest
One of the
things
sources.
that hurts people is falling off ladders.
It's just because you can't stay stationary on doing anything. That's why.
You're not balanced. You're not balanced.
You're not balanced on
No.
anything.
airborne particles, respiratory hazards, airborne particles, like we were saying before. This is the least amount.
With dust, it works alright. This P2 type of mask or no?
Nah,
Still,
I wouldn't. It's not worth a toss.
no.
But at minimum, you would want something like this if you're doing grinding.
That's okay.
Yeah, that for grinding, cutting, yeah, it's good.
No.
Yeah. Chemical hazards, like we were saying, you want something like this. Keeps the vapors out.
Yeah.
You go home, you can breathe alright. Your sinuses aren't inflamed.
No.
Maintenance and replacement of PPE in construction. Everything these days has a use by date.
Yeah.
Before you use something, I'd inspect it, see its age, see if it's appropriate if it's fit for use.
Yep.
It's not like you get a mask from 2005 and say, yeah, I'm going to stick it on and I'm going to be fine. That's probably withered away
It doesn't
or
work.
deteriorated.
It
You
doesn't
can't,
work.
you can't grab a pair of chemical resistant gloves and say, oh, these are from 2005, they're going to fit. They've deteriorated, they've lost their life, that's it.
It doesn't work anymore.
No, it doesn't. Doesn't. Okay, we've come to the end of our PowerPoints.
Yeah.
Just give me a minute while I switch over.
Are we gonna put this on?
Yeah, we are.
Or
We
do
are.
some
We're
demonstration.
gonna do a brief
Yeah.
demonstration. Just let me pull up what I've got to do next. Sorry. Okay. As we got in front of us here is the hard hat.
Yeah.
It's a nice one. This
It's
one.
a
isn't
very
it?
nice one. It's one of the better ones. One of the better ones you could use.
Yeah.
Obviously on the back here, there's a knob you basically turn and it accommodates different size heads.
Yeah.
So depending on the size of your noggin,
Yeah.
you can adjust it to fit.
It looks good actually. This
It
one
does.
too.
Yeah.
Um,
Aesthetically, yeah.
You apply, you want to come up and give it a try?
Yes. Does it?
Look at the losing head.
You know, there's when you adjust it here, different size heads. Adjust
so
it, stick it on.
which way? Which way do?
Well, usually it's you see the strap
Oh, okay. So you
getting
you.
smaller. Yeah. Oh, there you go.
But do I have to put it like
Well,
right side?
yeah, well, it's
I think it's a
You want it-
it's
you
a
want it
little
to
bit
be on your head.
uncomfortable.
you want it to be on your head where if you move, you don't want it to fall off.
But not too tight
No,
to.
not too tight. You don't want it to constrict your blood flow to your head.
But this protects from concussions too.
Yeah,
It depends. I mean,
it depends on
I think up to some point.
up to some point. If you get a ton of bricks falling from the
Yeah, I bet that you want
it's better to move out of the way.
Listen, I had a situation where I was in a unit and something fell. So from
Yeah,
the
no.
roof because they were calling the roof. So
No,
you never know.
that would be
exactly.
your
There,
odds.
there,
are
wa-
a
there
lot
was
better.
there was this size of slab in a circle, this thick pretty much.
Yeah, but it'll still
It's-
it'll
it's-
your neck will.
No,
But
so
it's
because it's not prepared
it's not
for it.
protected. No. Yeah. As you can see,
Yeah, this is actually a nice
it's
one
a
that
very
you
good
can
one. You can see
adjust.
like it's got a lot of reinforcement inside. Yeah. It's got
This is for.
reinforcement.
Ah.
Yeah. So that cushions if there's something hits your head.
Like a shock absorber.
Shock absorber. Usually on the inside somewhere you'll find the Australian standards and what they're supposed to do. But
This one I think.
there you go, right there.
Yeah.
It's got the Australian standards and what it's supposed to make.
That's how you
Well,
check the.
Yeah.
Alright.
Everything like has an Australian standard on it, and that's the bare minimum it's got to meet.
Minimum.
That's
But
what
this
they-
one is good to go or it needs replacement? Looks like a little bit
No, well-
worn out, but it's still alright, isn't it?
It's saved its owner a few times by the looks of it.
But it's still alright because no cracks.
No cracks, no fading. It's not discolored. You can like
Would be okay to
Yeah,
use
yeah,
because
yeah.
it's
Maybe
solid
that
steel.
can help with the painting
Yeah.
and make it.
You make a decorating out of it. It's true. This is good, Niraj.
what I'm gonna do, we're gonna go. We got these earmuffs. Yeah. They're they're adjustable.
Yeah.
Different earmuffs as well have different class. They'll usually say here on one side of them, or no, both sides. This one, it'll say what it's supposed to be good for. Sure, if you want to come up and give it a try.
Different types of environments with the sound, is it?
Yeah. Well, because earplugs as well, they have. Can you hear me still talking?
I can still hear
You
you,
can still
talking,
hear me?
the decibel is a bit
Ah,
lower,
okay.
and I think
That's
all
a
the
good
issue.
thing then.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
That means to work.
They're working. That means they're working.
Would it be? Yeah.
If you continue to prolong
Noise.
loud noise, it will get to you. These offer a lot better protection than your standard little yellow earplugs that you squeeze and just put in your.
I always found those ones to be
They're
very
irritating.
comfortable.
They're
and
uncomfortable
there's
because they push the
no-
wax back into your ear,
all
and
right.
they actually touch like the inner part of your ear.
Ah,
which
so
is
then
not
it's
supposed to.
actually advisable to use
No, no.
those ones.
Next we got
There was another question about the earmuffs. The alarms on site, are you able to hear them if you put this sort of?
the alarms, and usually alarms are designed at a lot higher frequency.
Ah, all right, fair enough.
So like your alarm, even though you have this, you'll still hear it.
Ah, it's still.
Same as what it is when the truck backs up, a squawker, the thing that goes beep beep beep.
Yeah,
beep.
yeah, yeah.
That thing is designed at a different decibel
Ah,
level,
okay,
so you
interesting.
can still hear it, even though you still got this or
No.
Wow.
Actually,
You did the
it's-
same with the silence?
so.
You did the same with the silence?
Yeah.
Sirens, yeah. Fire trucks have a completely different siren now. So even though you got loud music in your car,
Yeah.
if they're behind you, you'll still hear it.
Ah,
They
you still
change
can
rate.
see, you still can hear the.
What we got here is chemical resistant gloves. Niraj, if you would like to step up.
I think this would be good for me when doing painting jobs.
Yeah.
Because it protects my
Yeah,
skin.
it protects your skin. You don't want to get any
Yeah.
chemicals or thinners or zoiling on your skin.
Is the paint, is the old base paint like bad for the skin?
Yeah.
It's
Irritates your skin, burns your skin.
But because it's got xylene in it or no?
Well, not necessarily xylene. Any kind of thinners
It's just the oil.
irritates your skin at least.
Alright. So the oil is the thinner, is it?
So I feel very comfortable wearing
Very good.
these. Yeah,
They fit. That's what we like to see. Is a tight
Yeah.
fit, and they don't slip off as you're going to do something.
Nice.
These
Alright.
these specific ones are good for, or do they break easily? These ones.
Well, you gotta see the class what they're designed for.
Thank you, Russ.
No, you're welcome. You gotta actually. These don't have any markings or making on it.
So they're basics ones, is it?
It's not basic, but you have to see what the packaging says they're good
Ah,
for.
fair enough. There is actually a guideline on the package, is it?
Yeah. Alex, if you would like to step up next. What we got here is a mask. Just if you can grab and familiarise yourself with it. I don't want you to put it on your face because it's been used by somebody else. I've just got it here for demonstration purposes. What they say is every day after you use them, to clean them, wash them, hot water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, hot water.
Yeah, so you clean them, you disinfect them basically, so you're not breathing in any airborne
And these
diseases.
filters, how long after you did you use each use with for like the what is that changed?
Well, when you see them, they're full of dust and they're deteriorated and they're no longer sufficient. You would change them out.
Yeah.
It's easier to change these out than changing your lungs out.
100%.
Here we got basic P2. It's new if you stick over your head. It's going to be hard to
Just
that
take that this one
yeah.
behind please.
That one first, right over your head. Don't flick the rubber band in your face.
That doesn't cover much
It
on
doesn't cover much, as I said.
Yes,
Yes, and
no,
very,
leaves
very
this area
basic.
exposed.
So this is the least
too.
effective.
This is the
kind.
very least bare minimum dust protection
Wow.
that's
You
offered.
look good now
Yeah, you look good.
Yeah.
with the mask.
And what we got here is basically our standard high visi vest.
Yeah.
Pretty basic. You still get to wear your normal apparel. You throw it over what you got on underneath, and yeah, that's it.
What about the singlet? Can I wear a singlet or no?
Most sites you got to see what the site says and their policies are. So some sites will say, like a residential site, will say, yeah, no problem. You go onto a commercial site, they'll say, no, you got to have long sleeve, long pants. Some sites will say no tracksuit for fire purposes.
For
Because the
fire
tracksuit
purposes,
is the
oh,
fire that
interesting,
catches
yeah.
fire whether it's cotton, normal pants don't.
I didn't hear that one. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Russ.
With this, we come to the end of our session.
Yeah.
As we wrap up our session today, learning about identifying factors for selecting appropriate PPE, demonstrate proper wearing and adjusting of PPE. I understand cleaning and storage procedures. Just a minute, I lost my place.
Is the computer not working properly?
Technology.
Takes a little bit to get used to it. Yeah.
To further enrich your understanding of the topics discussed, I encourage you to explore YouTube videos as they can offer valuable insights into the subject matter.
Yeah.
Before we conclude, I'd like to remind you to check your email for the handout and learners feedback form. Your input is invaluable in shaping further sessions. So please take a moment to fill it out and send it back to me.
Alright.
Thank you all for your participation and engagement. I look forward to seeing you in our next session.
No worries.
Sounds
Thank
good.
you.
See you next session.
Thank you, Hans.